Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the subject English for Job Interviews. My name is Hương. I'm a teacher in the Department of Foreign Languages. In the previous lesson, we learned about first impressions and common questions. Before we come to the lesson today, I'd like to review what we learned in the previous lesson. We are going to do it by using QR code. You can scan with a smartphone or tablet to quickly access information. This will take you to our review activity. You should spend 5 minutes to complete the task. Okay, I hope this activity can remind you of the previous lesson. Now, let's move on to today's new topic. Today, we are going to learn Unit 2 difficult questions. Our lesson today will be divided into 4 main parts. Part 1, how to stand out. Part 2, turning bad points into good points. Part 3, questions to ask and questions to avoid. And Part 4, some pointers on body language and interview techniques. In this lesson, we will learn how to express your qualities and skills to get opportunities to really be a top candidate. Alright, let's jump into Part 1. Now we together explore Part 1. How to stand out. In this part, we'll discuss 3 main ideas. Number 1, what is standing out? Number 2, why should you stand out in an interview? Number 3, how to stand out. Okay, we start with the term standing out. What is standing out? Standing out means to be noticeably different from others in a way that is easily seen or recognized, often because of being particularly good or impressive. Remember, standing out doesn't necessarily mean being the loudest or most flashy. It is about being memorable, providing value, and making a positive impact in a way that is true to who you are. So, why should you stand out in an interview? In an interview, if an interviewer asks you about the qualities, and everyone says the same things, an interviewer will find it difficult to choose between the candidates. So you should be different. You need to stand out. Standing out in an interview is crucial because it increases your chance of being remembered and selected for the position. Being well prepared and professional during the job interview shows that you take the opportunities seriously. This can make a strong impression on the interviewer. But how to stand out? Now we'll discuss to find out the way to stand out. We start with activity 1 by writing 10 good points about yourself. You have 3 minutes to complete this task. Okay, time's up. Now share your answers. Alright, we together review following example answers about good points. For example, you can say, I am passionate about my work. I am highly organized. I am an excellent communicator. I am a decisive person. I am self-motivated. I am self-determined. I am capable of defining my own limits and setting my own priorities. I am a responsible person. I am grateful. I am always learning, and so on. Let's turn to the next activity, activity 2. Write the times when you show your good qualities. You can pick up some of the good points you have mentioned, and you have 3 minutes to complete the task. Okay, time's up. Now, share your answers. Alright, we together review following example answers about the times when you show your good qualities. You should spend 2 minutes to read this example. Okay, let's see how the candidate answers. In the example, the candidate highlighted linguistic agility and ability facilitate a cross-cultural dialogue, key attributes that could make him or her an invaluable asset as an interpreter. So now move on to activity 3. Write 5 bad points about the self. You have 2 minutes to complete the task. Okay, time's up. Now, share your answers. I share with you some examples of bad points. For example, I focus too much on the details. I have trouble saying no. Or, it has been difficult for me to work with certain personalities. Or I sometimes have trouble delegating tasks to my team members. Or I don't have direct experience in this specific industry, but... and so on. After writing good and bad points, now move on to the next part. Part 2. We'll discuss part 2, turning bad points into good points. In previous parts, we defined good points and bad points. In this part, we'll learn how to turn bad points into good points, so how to change. Let's find out by writing some bad things about ourselves and change them into good things. You can pick up some bad points that you mentioned in activity 3 and think of the way to change them into good things. You have 5 minutes too. Alright, thumbs up. Now let's take a look to refer the following examples. Number 1, I find it difficult to concentrate on more than one job at a time. So a solution could be, I try to dedicate myself fully to the job in hand to make sure it is done to the best of my ability. Another example is, I like talking to people too much. I am a chatterbox. A solution could be, I am a good communicator. I find that people will automatically refer to me for advice and help. Or you can say, I don't like hard work. And so what is the solution? Solution could be, I am good at delegating work and cutting through red tape to make sure the minimum amount of time and energy is used to finish a project. Another example is, I don't like working with people. So solution for this problem is, I prefer to work alone so that I can concentrate more fully on the work I need to do. Or you can say, I don't like working alone. And a solution could be, I am a good team player. And the last example is, I find it difficult to meet deadlines. And a solution could be, I prefer working at my own pace to make sure I don't miss any important parts of the job. That's all about how to turn bad points into good points. So let's come to conclusion. Standing out in a job interview is crucial. When facing difficult questions during a job interview, you should stay calm and approach the questions with confidence. Secondly, focus on highlighting experiences and skills such as problem-solving abilities that are relevant to the role. And finally, acknowledge the difficult, then turn it into a positive. Now, let's move on to the next part. Part 3, questions to avoid and questions to act. Asking thoughtful questions in a job interview demonstrates your interest in the position and helps you assess if the company is the right fit for you. Certain questions can make you seem unprepared and uninterested. So, let's see some suggestions for questions you should or you shouldn't ask in an interview. In this part, we together discuss about questions to ask about which refer to the job. You can ask some questions about training and professional development, about performance, about the culture and the next steps. And some questions to avoid, referring to compensation and benefits, about money, and some questions about remote work or flexible arrangements, about performance monitoring and tracking, and some questions about taking time off. We start this topic by participating in Activity 5. Based on the suggestions for the topics you should ask in the job interview, I want you to write questions you could ask in the first interview. You should spend 3 minutes to complete this task. Okay, time's up. Now let's compare your answers. We together refer the following example answers. Questions to ask about the job. Asking thoughtful, insightful questions like these will help you stand out as an engaged and self-aware candidate who is interested in the role in the company. Here are some questions. Question 1. What are your expectations for me in this role? Or you can ask, Question 2. What roles will my performance be evaluated against? Question 3. What are the most immediate projects that I could take on? Or you can ask, how long before I will be meeting with clients, or I have responsibility for my accounts? And there are some questions you can ask about training and professional development. Here are some suggestions. Question 1. What training programs are available to your employees? Are there opportunities for advancement or professional development? Or does the company offer continued education and professional training? Or you can ask, where is the last person who held this job moving on to? Or where have successful employees previously in this position progressed to? How about some question about performance? You can look at some suggestion on the slide. For example, what are the most important things you would like to see someone accomplished in the first 30 days on the job? Or if I were in this job, how would my performance be measured? Or how are employees recognized for their hard work? Or you can ask, how involved are employees in the structuring of their own goals and tasks? Besides, you can ask some questions about culture, and here's some suggestions. Question 1. How would you describe the work environment here? Is the work typically collaborative or more independent? Or question 2. How would you describe the work environment here? Or what are examples of company events? You can ask some questions about next steps. Look at some suggestions. For example, number 1, is there anything that concerns you about my background being a fit for this role? Or what are the next steps in the interview process? Or you can ask, is there anything else I can provide you that could be helpful? Those are examples of questions you can ask in the job interview. So how about questions you should not ask the interviewers in the first interview? Let's discuss in discussion 6. You have 3 minutes to write the questions you should not ask the interviewer in the first interview. So, but before you discard and write, I provide you with some tips. You never asked information you could have easily found with a quick Google search. Or if you can change the job details, the schedule, or the salary. You shouldn't ask many questions about interviewers' background, about pay, time off, benefits. You should wait until next step. And never ask some question about gossip you have heard. So it's time to write questions you should not ask the interviewers in the first interview. In the first interview, you should spend 3 minutes to write their own questions. Okay, time's up. Now let's compare your answers. We together refer to the following example answers. You should not ask these questions. For example, number 1, how much is the pay? You should avoid ask questions like, when can I take time off for vacation? Or how many holidays will I get? Or avoid asking question like, do I work weekends? Or how late can I be to work without getting fired? Or does the company monitor internet usage? Or could I get a company card, telephone, or credit card? Or you also shouldn't ask questions like, do I get sick pay? Or how long is the maternity or paternity leave? So let's move on to conclusion. So to conclude, in the first interview, candidates should ask questions about job, about company, about how they can be successful in the role. But they shouldn't ask questions about benefits, about money, about compensation and work arrangements. You should save them for later in the interview process once you have established yourself as the top candidate. Now move on to the last part of this lesson, part 4, some pointers on body language and interview techniques. In this part, we'll learn how to express your body language using appropriate techniques in an interview. This part includes 3 small parts: body language, handshake, and facial expressions. About body language, to know how to sit during an interview, I want you to look at the photos on the slide and answer the question about which poses is the best for job interviews and give explanations. Okay, let's see which one is the best. Look at the photos on the slide. The first photo is representative of those who are slouching in their chair and is not giving a positive signal to the interviewer. They are lightly borrowed and possibly quite self-opinionated. The second photo is representative of those who are sitting with both their arms and legs crossed and are unwilling to give any information away about themselves, and either do not have a great deal of self-esteem or is likely to be a very defensive and probably a reactionary person. How about the third photo? The third photo is representative of those who have one arm over the back of their chair. They are open, however, not very serious, and do not listen well. The man is probably overreacting as he has decided he should look as natural as possible. And the last photo is representative for those who have their hands folded in their lap and both feet on the floor. It's the person who will take in most if they are in an interview situation and who will make the best impression. This posture is one of the most relaxed and receptive. In conclusion, the last photo is the right body posture we can refer to in an interview. Remember, the way you present yourself through your body language can have a significant impact on the impression you make during the job interview. About handshake, a good handshake is essential. It can make or break an interview. It is normal for the host or interviewer to initiate the handshake. A good handshake is firm but not too hard and lasts between 2 and 5 seconds. And the last small part of body language is facial expression. This includes eye contact and smiling. About eye contact, if your eyes are alert and bright and look directly into the interviewer's eyes, it will be much more effective than you do not make eye contact or your eyes are always downcast. Staring is not considered polite by polite people. So you need to remember to blink and look away from the interviewer from time to time. The eyes are a gateway to the soul. You need to project the self as confident and capable without being confrontational. About smiling, smiling is an essential tool in an interview situation. and it is worth practicing smiling beforehand, as an interview can be a very stressful situation. It is worth noting that smile can easily become a grimace. So practice smiling with the other students. I hope you understand and can express your facial expressions in the best way in an interview. In conclusion, the right body language, handshake, and facial expressions can make a significant impact during a job interview. These nonverbal cues convey important information about your confidence, enthusiasm, and overall professionalism to the interviewer. A firm handshake, direct eye contact, and an open, engaged posture demonstrate that you are self-assured and interested in the role, all of which are essential for making a positive impression and standing out among candidates. By mastering these nonverbal elements, you can demonstrate your interpersonal skills and give yourself a competitive edge throughout the interview process. At home, based on the knowledge you learned about this in this unit, all of you must do these exercises to practice standing out, asking good questions, and avoiding poor questions in the job interview. Alright, that's enough for today. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Goodbye.